to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and today we're going to be breaking down the NFL 2020 draft center position in terms of the prime targets. Now, if you don't know what prime is, it's essentially players that have characteristics that appeal to what the Bengals have picked in the past, going all the way back to 1999. So starting things off, it's no shock that Cesar Ruiz is at the top of this list, and this list is sorted by projected round that's actually sent in by PFF. So this is according to their projected round for all of these prospects. However, it's sorted on that as well as prime grade. So in terms of that factor, Cesar Ruiz, he's coming from a school that the Bengals have drafted from before. Conference looks good. His height and weight are perfect for what they look for in the center position. His BMI, however, is not what they really go for. His hand size is also very small compared to what they usually go with. So in that aspect, Cesar Ruiz does not fit the metrics that they look for. And then you look at his age as well. He's extremely the opposite of what they look for from a center. So the team need too isn't as high given that Trey Hopkins is there. There's not really a future need for him either. So this doesn't really make him an ideal candidate, and this is why he's only at a 4.09 prime grade. Now, after him, you have Nick Harris. Nick Harris, his conference, the Bengals have never really picked someone from that conference. His height also is on the low end. That's not what they generally look for as well. His arm length isn't perfect either, but he does fit the scheme, and he has visited with them. So he's had some kind of contact with them, whether it was at the Senior Bowl or whether it was with some kind of virtual interview. So that's what kind of still brings him up there. Now, we have drafted people out of his school, which is Washington, obviously with John Ross, obviously with Drew Sample as well. So those are guys that have come out of certain offenses and certain schools that relate to him. Now, one of my guys, Lloyd Cushenberry, I think it's Cushenberry, he really sticks out there. He's got a 4.25 prime grade. That's pretty high. His height isn't where it should be, but it's not too bad that it's going to draw them away. His weight is perfect. His 40-yard dash is great. And in terms of his scheme, that fits his. He was a participant at the Senior Bowl. So those are things that make him kind of stick out compared to some of these other guys. Now, maybe they're looking for a backup, or maybe they're looking at some of these other guys. But when you look at the highest one, it's actually Darryl Williams, which is somewhat surprising. But he's a guy that really is going to be an undrafted free agent, so maybe you might see him get picked up in terms of the college free agents that they're looking for. If they're looking for someone that's going to back up Trey Hopkins in a pinch, they could do that. But when you look outside of that, if they're looking at these guys and they really want to take a guy, more than likely, if it's going to be higher, it would be Cushenberry, but I doubt, again, that he would be available in the later rounds. So that's all that I have for the centers. I probably should have moved them together with the guards because maybe some of these guys actually have some crossover, but that is your center class. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know in the comments, and as usual, I'll leave you with a who day all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.